introduce themselves, okay? Y'all ready?
Yep.
Okay. And if you, side note, if you have a business or whatever that you want to plug or whatever it is that you do outside of being just you on Facebook, please make sure that you plug that. As a businesswoman, I want to make sure that anybody that else that has businesses, that they have their platform. And, you know, I'm not selfish, so I'm not funny that way. So if you have a business, plug it. Okay.
All right.
Y'all ready? Okay.
Yes.
Thanks. Let's get started. Okay, thank you, everybody. This is Reagan Adams with All Things Reagan. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. We have a group of fellas here tonight. Y'all, I am so excited to hear what they have to say. Ladies, I think they're all single, but I don't know. But they'll let you know over the course of the broadcast. All I did was ask them to make sure that they're being honest with their answers, and they're going to give you a little peek inside of what they are thinking when they see your post or whatever it is they have. So anyway, I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves, and we'll start with Chucky. Oh.
Hey, how y'all doing, everybody? My name is Montgomery. I'm from Flushing, about an hour from Detroit, Michigan. I'm on page by my cousin Timmy and Reed. Glad to be here tonight.
Thank you for joining us. All right, Mr. Clark.
How y'all doing? My name is Elijah Clark. I'm out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah, I'm single. Just trying to see what's going on. Ready to answer some questions.
All right, Mr. Mitchell.
Yeah, I'm DeMar Mitchell. I from Jacksonville, Florida. Just, you know, trying to learn something, maybe say something that somebody might understand. That's pretty much it.
All righty. And you wrote a book, right?
I did, yeah. I have a book out now on Amazon and barnesandnoble.com. It's called Women Are Crazy Because Men Are Stupid and in Reverse. So you should definitely check that out. I guess just a lot of that stuff going to be talked about tonight. So I look forward to these opportunities.
Absolutely. All right, Mr. Turner, let's hear from you.
My name is Turner. I'm from Memphis. I'm single. I'm just trying to see, you know, what this night gonna be about. Answer some questions. See if I can put some knowledge out there.
All right. And last but not least, Mr. Wright.
I'm Sam Wright. Yeah, Sam Wright, Knoxville, Tennessee. I've actually, and keeping it discreet for right now until we actually do the full blast, I'm probably going to be your second person that actually have already found somebody on Dating Is Dead who killed it. So I'm not single.
Oh, so I'm excited about that.
Reveal. Get ready for the big reveal.
Yay! Okay. And just a side note, I didn't hook up Dating Is Dead because I wanted people to necessarily get together. I'm not into the speed dating thing. If you find somebody cool, if not cool, it's really just to have conversation about love, marriages, relationships, so we can get a better understanding. So did anybody want to say anything before we get started?
I put the plug in that I'm single also. I probably didn't put that in my intro.
Wait a minute, who's talking? Brother Chucky?
That was Chucky, yes. I didn't put that in my intro.
Ladies, Brother Chucky said he was single. Oh, and Brother Mitchell is single as well.
Hey, you know, yeah.
All right.
I also want to say I ain't had a haircut in 2 weeks. All the barbershops closed in Memphis, so don't judge me by this hairy face right now.
I understand.
Cleaned up right now, man.
We know about the Rona. You get a pass. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So we already introduced ourselves. So if you could, and you guys can just kind of hop in when you want to, what do you think about the group so far? Like when you got in it, what did you expect? And since you've been in it, like, what do you think about it so far?
I've only been in the group about 2 weeks.
What, Mr.
And
Turner?
I had no expectation. I've only been in the group about 2 weeks. So I was invited in. I didn't have any expectations, but I kind of see the same people posting every week or every post, if at all. So I haven't really seen much interaction. I mean, it's some interactions, but it's the same people every time.
Okay, so we need to find a way to kind of shake it up because we got over 900 people, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's the same people talking all the time.
True.
So what do we do to shake that up? Y'all know?
That's a good question. I mean, I've honestly, I was added by somebody actually in Tennessee after I wrote that book. And
I added
it's
you.
honestly, oh, you added me? I didn't
did.
even know. I had absolutely no idea. But it's actually been kind of cool to see some of the stuff that, you know, that women will say. And I'm like, yo, I agree with that. And some of the stuff is like, yo, I don't know where you getting that from. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who you dealing with. So I mean, it's a good outlet to have people just kind of throw stuff back and forth about their experiences, and it's like, yo, I can see why some of y'all be on some other stuff when you meet somebody. So
Right.
it's all right to me. I dig it.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of the same way with it, you know. Yeah, some of the things some of the ladies be saying, you be like, damn, like my manager said, like, who have y'all been dealing with? So
right,
it's an eye opener. It's a lot of things that's eye opener to, you know what I mean, hearing different points of views. But as far as getting different people to talk, I mean, they just got to open up a little bit. That's it.
right. I think sometimes they get kind of nervous because, you know, people don't want to feel like they're judged. So
Right.
maybe that's it. Did anybody else have anything to add to that part of it? What they thought about the group so far?
Yeah, but this is Sam. Oh, go ahead.
I just say it's good to see the women that are opening up, talking, you know, about the failures of the past, what they're looking for in the future. So it's been interesting, you know. Sometimes you look at, I'm up here in the north, and, you know, looking at southern women and where they talking, things that go in relationships there and opposed to here. A lot of different things kind of manifest.
Hello, were you finished, Chucky?
Yep, I'm done.
Okay. I kind of want to go on the back end of what you said about Southern women and women up north. Is there a difference? Because I actually have family in the Detroit area. Is there a difference to you in the women?
Oh yeah, you'll find a big difference in women in regards to Tennessee. Trust me, it is a big difference.
Well, what's the difference besides our accent?
It's here. It's the flashy, the show, and the fame here. Where I think more of the women are more settled, you know, want to do family. But it's showtime. It's showtime Detroit. Comes to the purses, the shoes, and this and that, all the glamour.
Gotcha. So a little bit slower here, more family oriented.
No, I say
family oriented.
Having dated outside of the South and like up East Coast kind of. I mean, down South, you know what I mean? A lot of people, especially with women, men too, I guess, you know what I mean? Everybody, it's not a lot of diversity in different thoughts and beliefs, you know what I mean? You go more toward the coast, you know what I mean? You get different religions, different mindsets, different views, you know, things like that. Around here or down South is more, you know what I mean? Southern Baptist type, real straightforward. We in the Bible Belt down here, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
praise him. All right. Was that it? I didn't want to interrupt anybody. Okay. So give me your definition of dating. What is your definition of dating? If you're taking somebody out on a date, what is that definition look like to you?
I mean, it means taking a woman out, showing a good time, you know, making sure she enjoys herself.
Okay. Anybody else?
The first day should be away from everything, so you guys can actually focus on one another to get to know each other. I don't want to go out here locally where everybody knows everybody in our conversation, and we didn't have that time really to get to know each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. My thing is when I look to take a woman out, I want to take her somewhere where it's time to actually talk and see and kind of pick each other's brain And I'm the type that I do that right off rip, because it has to be some kind of build up. Because if you ain't interested at all in me, or you can't carry a decent conversation, you can't, stimulate me intellectually, then honestly, I don't want to just go and watch no movie. We ain't just finna go and just sit in the dark and stare at the screen. So it definitely ain't finna be that. That's more if I already know who I'm sitting next to type atmosphere. On a date, it's more so like, yeah, I'm really trying to figure out who you are for real. Look in your eyes, see what I could tell about you from your body mannerisms to little. I'm always paying attention. So that's how I date. So that's just what it is with me.
Okay.
Yeah, the first date for me.
I have to agree with that myself. You know what I mean? Just that's been a big thing, like how you started to question, like, what is dating and what does it mean? I've been saying, like, a lot of people been confused, or I get confused with a lot of people. If I say I'm dating, you know what I mean? They take it like we're going to date. But it's like just taking somebody out, like my man was saying, and, you know what I mean, trying to have a good time, just seeing what type of person they are. So I can go on 10 dates in 2 weeks, you know what I mean, with 10 different people. I'm just trying to meet people, just getting to know people, let them know me, you know what I mean? But yeah, in the movies, it's definitely not a good first date. It's
not at all.
Unless you're talking during the whole movie. Not at all.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I was always saying about women, and I can learn from myself, because as I've actually stepped back, I've been married for 13 years, but we're getting ready to go through a divorce. But one thing that I was looking at as I looked at our marriages, I did not know how to date. That's kind of how Dating Was Dead was born. Typically, with Black women especially, if we have a man, and I'm just speaking for us or for me, when we had a man that kind of liked us or whatever, we kind of poured all of our energy into him. So we didn't have the luxury of saying, oh, I'm going out on a date with him or him or him, because it would be looked at as a whore. And so we would just pour all our energy into whoever it was. And then if he went out on other dates, well, why are you talking to her? Or why are you talking to her? I'll be uptight. But because if we knew how to date like you guys could, have several dates, I don't think we would be able to give you guys a hard time like we have been doing ongoing. Do you agree with that or disagree?
So that's the difference between the North and the South. Because in the North, women do that. In the South, it's different.
Okay, talk about it.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. That's not something that, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think down here, it's a little more, if I talk to you, I talk to you, and I don't talk to nobody else, and you're not supposed to talk to nobody else.
Right.
And I don't even know you. I don't know who you are. I'm still trying to figure you out and figure if you even gonna have a position in this life that I'm living. And I'm gonna cut off everybody else just so that you can feel comfortable with, what we doing, and we don't even know. So I can definitely agree with that, because down here it ain't none of that. You better be good at what you do.
I agree with that. Like, I was married for 13 years and just got recently divorced. And so when I was first started dating, that's how it was. Like, you dated one person and then, y'all dated, But now since I've been divorced, the whole thing has changed. Like, you dating multiple people, dating 2 or 3 people at a time. And me, I'm still old fashioned. Like, I ain't got time to date more than 1 or 2 people. Cause it get confusing, I can't keep all this stuff together, man. I just 1, maybe 2 at the most. After that, somebody gonna lose something.
Right.
What they gonna lose, Turner?
They gonna lose some time, I guess.
Right.
You put one on the team, another one gonna go to the bench.
Right.
That's definitely how it is.
That's how it is.
Work on your jump shot, baby. Work on your jump shot. Go over there to the side court.
Somebody gonna say something you ain't saying. Nah, they took your spot on the team and you regulated to the bench.
There it is.
You gotta get back.
Lord.
But at the same time, though, you kind of just keep it moving, and kind of to like the first thing you said, though, like thinking like, especially being in a smaller city, I can see how a woman might feel that way. Like, getting seen out by a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? Like the same people that kind of know you, and you like, oh, she was with that dude. Now she with this dude, or like however. So I guess maybe in a bigger city it'd be a little easier. But yeah, you definitely lose the spot, but it ain't nothing personal. You know what I mean? Especially in like the first 1 or 2 dates. You know what I mean? It's like we just ain't clicking. You know what I mean? I'm not vibing with you. You know what I mean? So I'm moving on instead of like you said, putting all your energy into something that ain't gonna work. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly.
And I think that comes again with dating. So if women had multiple men or dating multiple men, not having sex, but dating multiple men, we wouldn't have a big problem with that. Because if we're just with you and you're like, oh, well, it ain't gonna work out. And it's like, dang, I ain't got nobody else. You know, so I understand.
Right. I had to get to that realization myself. I done been caught in that situation too many times.
Uh-oh, Brother Clark. Uh-oh.
Now I'm saying being in a relationship or whatever, you talking to somebody, you break up, and then you just, you know what I mean? You ain't got nobody. So you know what I'm saying? I'm single, been single for about 2.5, 3 years almost. I like it. I had to learn how to like it though, you know what I mean? Keep my options open, keep it moving.
Is it hard dating in Knoxville? I'm sorry. Did you say something? I didn't want to interrupt, Brother Mitchell. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's all that could be a good and I mean it could be looked at as a good thing too, because it all depends on what you're actually looking for, what you out there seeking, trying to find. Now, if you are, attempting to find that one particular person that you want to focus on and do that, then yeah, definitely do that. And I don't necessarily think it's a good idea to have somebody just waiting in the cut. Just like, all right, if this don't work out, I'm immediately going to, turn my attention over there because
plan B.
Right. Sitting on.
I thought all guys had a plan B. Y'all don't have a plan B.
It all depends on what you want. It all depends on what you want.
I mean, you got a team.
You can have a team.
You got a team.
You got 1 or 2 starters. Everybody else, we know they on the bench.
Hey, they got strong starting 5s right here.
Yeah.
So what gets the women to the star status on the team? We know what it is in basketball or football. They have these different attributes. So what are the star qualities that you men look for when you see women, maybe on their profile or just out? Or you're dating? What are those star qualities?
I mean, I guess I could start off. I just say, I mean, that depends on each individual man, and like my man was saying, whatever you're looking for, you know what I mean? Like, so that's a varied answer.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it all depends. Like, if what you definitely looking for, if you feel like what compliments you is what this woman does, then absolutely you should shoot for that. If you feel like what compliments you is, or even if you don't even know, and she brings something to the table that you didn't even know that you had, or didn't even know that's something that can drive you forward, then yeah, that will bring you up to star status real quick.
Yeah.
Brother Chucky, what do you think?
No drama. The one look drama. Sometimes you look at people's faces. You look at their pages and be like, no, man, she cute and everything, man. She got too much drama going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's talk about that, because that's actually one of my questions. Let's say everybody is single and maybe you see a profile picture that possibly caught your eye. So you go and click on the picture. What are the things that you look at that are turn ons that maybe be like, well, let me kind of look a little bit further into her? And what are your turn offs? I know you said drama. Those are one of the things. Give me your turn on and your turn offs when you're looking at profile pictures of women. And I want everybody to answer this, please. So we'll start with Sam. Sam, what do you think? And I know you got somebody you eyeing in the group, but let's answer
good.
like this. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I could use that as an actual example. Like I say, I mean, a little bit about me. I was married for 20 years. 5 years ago was when I divorced. And so me getting back into the, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
No, yeah and no, but go ahead.
Can y'all
It's
hear me?
a little muffled
Oh, man.
for me.
Hold on a second.
Go ahead, keep talking. You can talk.
Okay. for me, kind of getting like some of the fellows were saying, if you guys can hear me, kind of getting back in the dating scene was interesting considering I was married for 20 years. And so um, if I use this particular situation, like I said, I had no expectations getting on, the dating is dead site. I was more or less there kind of just, listen to the females putting nuggets out there, just trying to see, if there's any type of dialogue that I could kind of put out there to kind of, give it like a male point of view versus a female point of view. And so I actually, as I put that DYM out there, right, I probably had like 4 or 5 young ladies kind of replying to some of, my comments. And this one that just stood out, and so it kind of pulled me in a certain direction just with the way she was commenting. So to answer the question, for me, I would say image, when I clicked on her profile, and so that really like caught my eye, you know what I'm saying? Just the way, her appearance and how she kept herself up. And then from there, I kind of looked at her page, and for me, spirituality is real important, So she got on there, love the Lord, love Jesus. So that clicked right there, right? So for me, compatibility. And then I just kind of sent out, a DM, just quick 2-3 lines. She replied to it, and it kind of went on from there. And so for me, it was more or less a compatibility thing that I look for, energy, compatibility, and image, not necessarily in that order.
Okay. Chucky?
You know what I think? I look at the way that they're dressed, how they're carrying themselves. On the book. If you're showing everything, you showing you and girl showing everything in your pictures. I like my stuff private. I want to be the only one at the show. So if it's on the book, I look at things in that nature. How you carry yourself, how you carry yourself in public, the pictures that you're taking. Social media is big, so employers watch the pictures that we take. And I look at the type of pictures that I take. And so I look at that also with females also. I don't want to see them nowhere passed out with a bottle of liquor in their hand, things of that nature. It's like, nah.
Right. Okay. All right, Mr. Mitchell.
Well, to kind of piggyback off what, the other brother's saying, because I definitely look at those things, the image, the way you carry yourself, your intellectual side. I definitely have to be intellectually stimulated by, the woman that I'll be with. But, also just what drives you. Do you have a passion about something? Do you have any kind of direction? If you don't, then you're going to slow me down because now I got to drag you along. And just, what can you be honest? Can you be wrong? Can you, just who you are as a person, where you came from, where you, what makes you tick, what drives you, what pisses you off, what lights you up, you know what I'm saying? If I try to find out as much of that information as possible. If I can do that and, seeing pictures or seeing what means the most to you and just the fact that you have an opinion and you strong with it, that's definitely a turn on for me. A turn off is all that negative stuff that we just talked about, like the drama and the foolishness and the cattiness and you want to keep stuff going and you want to keep stuff up and you comment and yeah, this chick just blew at me in the drive-through parking lot. I'm a, she don't know, she don't want this and yeah, okay. That foolishness is overrated. It's out of there.
Brother Turner.
Man, I might look at a lady profile, see how many kids she got.
Really?
She got more than a certain she got more than a certain number of kids and what age they are, and I'm out. Like
Brother Clark, you like yes.
my youngest daughter is 14. So if you got babies, I don't
want to interrupt, but babies are ooh wee. That's a red flag.
Yeah, man, they got babies.
What is this like bad, like to the bone? Got her head on straight. Maybe she made some mistakes.
How many she got? Like how many baby daddies she got? All that stuff is important to me.
Didn't say it was a deal breaker, not a deal breaker, but definitely a red flag, something worth paying more attention to, asking some more questions. I mean,
Right.
that's just what it is.
Yep.
I want to know, like, if she travel, like, does she go anywhere? Is she adventurous? You know, what she do besides working? You know,
Right.
is she a workaholic? You know, what her people look like? You know, what her friends look like?
Right.
So, you know, I mean, of course, if she's smart, you know, I want a girl who can wear tennis shoes and, you know, and basketball shoes. I mean, not heels and basketball shoes. You know when to dress up, know when to dress down. You know how to hang out. You know, just be comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable is always key.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. We finished turn. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right, Brother Clark, what's going on? Let us know what's going on with you.
I guess like you said, when you first hit the profile pic or whatever, like you said, like kids is definitely you looking for that. I mean, like I said, it's not necessarily a good thing, bad thing. It's just something you taking note of. Want to look for, like, if they posting like achievements, you know what I mean, things that they doing, what they got going on in their life, you know what I mean. Definitely. I don't mind seeing some club photos though, you know what I mean. I like some, you know what I mean. I like them classy and ratchet, like the song say. So, you know what I mean. So I like seeing that, you know what I mean, because I like to get out myself, or you know what I mean, when we can get out anyway. But you know what I mean. So I'm looking at that too, you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. Everybody kind of hit on things, but red flags, like you were saying, definitely small young children. So I mean, that means something just went bad somewhere, you know what I mean. X is still on your page, you know what I mean. You swipe through and she kissing some dude, like, that was 2 years ago. Hi, you still
Why you take that down?
Yeah, on your profile pic, you know what I mean. It can be buried somewhere down in your page, but not on your. You still got it up there, you know what I mean. Just things you're looking for, little things you notice, you know what I mean. So definitely.
Okay. When I went to Charlotte, because with Dating is Dead, I plan on doing different events in different cities and states. But what I do is I have like meetups first to kind of look at the people who are going to be on the panel, almost like an interview. But I still ask questions like how I'm asking you guys. And one of the things that the men said, because my question was, why don't men really come to dating type events? And they told me that when they are honest with women or they give their opinion, women always kind of jump and say, that's wrong. And so it's kind of like they don't even want to come and share an opinion because women think that what their way is the right way and the men's way is the wrong way. Do you think that is correct or no?
That's correct. That's correct. I actually, Reagan, you know, I was dealing with that today on the page. With I'm not going to mention any names, but you know, a lot of times, you know, the women's minds are already made up before we can even get one word out. You know, you're coming from a situation of, you know, pain, coming from a situation where, you know, the previous relationship really wasn't on point, you know, and so a lot of it is what I was telling this young lady today is take the time to process what the brother is saying first before you jump to a conclusion. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, don't put us all in the same box. And so, and I noticed, and I told her, I said, listen, you just actually replied, not listening to me. And so I told her straight up, I said, this is the situation I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You didn't really hear what I said. You replied. You didn't process it, right? You came back with another question. And so what happens, it goes from one question to 10. You know what I'm saying? It goes from 1 to 100, you know, in like 5 seconds. So a lot of times, that's the main reason why I would say I wouldn't want to go to some of those events because of that.
Wow. Okay. Anybody else?
I actually like those type of events, those open forum events where, you know, people passing the microphone around and like, you know, talking about stuff and opening up about stuff. And I look for them opportunities for, you know, a woman to stand up and tell me that I'm wrong by the way I think. Okay, well then now you have to show me. You know, now you open the door, so now this conversation is between me and you. So if as long as we can have that conversation, I can actually point out where I stand. And if you can't do the same, then we can't even figure anything out. But if you have an honest opinion about the way you feel and what makes me wrong, then maybe I can learn something from you. But if you can't, then you can't. So at that point, you just trying to either argue or you just feel some type of way, and like brother was just saying, you're coming from a place of pain or some unprocessed hurt that you know that you just carrying over into all your situations, and now that's what you're displaying right now. So either that's gonna happen, either I'm expose you for doing that, or you're gonna teach me something. So it's a win-win for me, regardless.
Okay. Anybody else?
Man, they pretty much summed it up, man. Women sometimes have they mind made up. It's like talking to a wall. It's like I'm not your last dude. You know, I didn't do it.
Yeah. One thing I can say that who was talking? I'm sorry.
I was just saying, she who picked the last. She picked the last one.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. She's picked the last one. We didn't do it.
Right.
Oh, we didn't know. But one thing I did learn, well, I've learned a lot. Every day I try to learn something different. And one thing that I learned in my marriage early on is that we don't listen. What is it? We are kind of on attack mode anyway. And we talk too much sometimes. I know that, ladies, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but we do. And I remember my husband and I used to fuss a lot. And I was like, we cannot like talk at each other because you're not hearing and I'm not hearing. So I said, you know what? I'm going to shut up. And when I did that, I promised we learned how to communicate a lot better because I let you talk and I'm going to cool it out. And then we can come back and revisit the situation calmly without yelling. So I definitely agree. We need to learn to listen more and not be so quick to respond. So I definitely agree with that because I went through that with my own situation. So do anybody have anything else to kind of add to that? Or are we going on to the next question? I only have like 2 or 3 more and I'll let you guys go.
Just let keep the girlfriends out there here also. The relationship is between you and your guy.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Don't nothing kill a good situation or a good relationship more than somebody that's bitter sitting on the sideline.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, for sure.
That's a good one. All right, let's talk about independent women. So I've heard men tell me that, why y'all laughing? I can't even get it out good. That most independent women that make real good money and quote unquote have their thing together are the hardest to date. Tell me why.
Y'all go first.
Okay, I'll try to
I might spend a little bit of time on that one. Let me go and replace my drink.
Yeah.
All right, you last then, brother.
I'll jump it off, Reagan. A lot of times the independent woman is independent by the choices that she made, not necessarily. This is my take. Not necessarily because of the decisions that she's made with a man. Like, say for instance, her upbringing. She could have had a mother that more or less instilled in her a rock stone value of make sure you have your own, right? Well, over time, if you look at the era we're living in, if you want to talk about millennials, you understand what I'm saying? It's so all over the media, social media, TV, whatever, a woman's independence, a woman's fair wage, the whole 9. And so you almost looking like it's like the coronavirus. It's like a pandemic. And so a lot of times, my personal experience is you'll have a woman to more or less tell you, well, out of 10 things, I only need a man for 3. And so when you have a female that has her mind set in stone, she basically has killed the game because, as men, you're taking the hunt out of the situation. We're hunters, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you want to be the man, you want to be the woman. So what role do you see me as? And so if you have a convoluted way of looking at us to where out of 10 things, you only see 3, well, the game is dead. It's that there is no room, really. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my take on the independent woman. She kind of has her mind made up, and she kind of sees man in a way where, it's almost like you chastise it internally, and it comes out, in your demeanor, it comes out in your conversation, your communication, and so, it's more or less like we just like, look, side dudes. You know what I'm saying? That's just my take on it.
Well, Brother Clark?
Yeah, I would say, I don't really think it's hard. I mean, it's a good and a bad thing dealing with an independent woman. The brother was just hitting on it. You know what I mean? Some of them kind of feel like they don't really need a man. So, you know what I mean? You kind of eliminate, you're eliminating your, if you are looking for a man. Some of them say they're not looking for a man. You know what I mean? Some of them happy with doing what they're doing. I like a woman to be self-motivated. You know what I mean? So, like, if she got a career or if she's a hustler and she is doing things like, that's a plus, you know what I mean? Because that's something I'm looking for too in a woman. But at the same time, if she just too independent to where like she's not looking for your advice, she don't need your advice, or you trying to help her do this, she not. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that one. You deal with it a lot though, so I think it's a big problem. But I don't know. It's a fine line, I guess. You know what I mean, between being an independent woman and just not needing a man. You know what I mean?
Right. That's exactly it. That's how I feel about it too. Exactly that way. I mean, I always felt like you can't pour nothing into a full cup. If I'm trying to pour something into you and you already solid, you topped off already, then what can I do? You know what I'm saying? And so that gets to a point where, you know, just like you were saying, women act like that they don't, or so-called independent women, because I can appreciate a strong woman, and sometimes just a strong, driven woman gets thrown into that independent woman category just because, you know, just the stigma of it. But if you are open to actually advice and you are open to, you know, wanting somebody as opposed to needing them, I don't want nobody to need me, because once that need is fulfilled, then I no longer have a position. You know what I'm saying? My job is done here. If you want me, then you want me, and then you'll say and do things to facilitate you having me. Now that independent woman stuff, it kind of gets kind of balled up in that. Like, I think for myself. Well, as you should. I can do this myself. Well, yeah, you have had to all this time. That's fine, but I'm here now. So now you don't have to do all those things by yourself. Now you don't have to make these decisions alone. At least consider me when you're doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? And if I have to ask for your consideration, then you stay your independent self over there, because I'll be over here doing my own thing, and I'll find me a woman that we can work together, because it's a team effort. It ain't a independent plus, you know, an extra. Like, I ain't your plus one. We walked in together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that independent woman stuff can really get kind of murky at certain points, depending on their intelligence level, depending on what's actually driving them, depending on, you know, what they actually got going on in their life. That independent stuff can get real murky, man. You gotta be you know, tight to be able to approach that.
Okay. Anybody else want to tag on to that?
Well, I might be getting myself in trouble because I got two young daughters. They're 14 and 16. And I teach them to be independent. Like, I don't want them to have to wait for a dude to come by and do something for them. Or, man, you know, I don't want them to have to wait for that. So I teach them to be independent, but not so independent where they act like they above everything. So,
right.
You know, I feel like if you got 10 so-called independent women, at least 8 of them want to have somebody to help them. They might not see it, but they want to, man. You know, they ain't sitting around every night, you know, for nothing. You know, they want to be out doing something too. You know?
Right.
Yes.
Anybody else? Let's talk about submission. A lot of women don't like this word, and I love it. I'm gonna be honest. So I've told this story a million times. Growing up, my parents were married for 25 years. They ended up divorcing, but my mother was very like the woman of the house. Even though she made like almost twice as much money as my father, he was still the head of the house. She cooked probably 5 or 6 days a week. I can probably count on 2 hands how many times we ate out. She fished, she scaled the fish, she caught it. I mean, she cooked it. She was like every woman, but she never made my father feel less than a man because he made less money. He was the head of the house. And I believe you can still be independent and be an alpha woman, but still be able to submit up under your man. And when I say submit, I don't mean that we're any less than, because we are the helpmeet, but I think women believe that submission is a curse word. So what do you guys feel about submission? Some men don't like the word submit. They say that you should have a partner, that you're equal. I don't think women and men are equal. Sorry, not sorry. So what do you guys think about submission?
Well, for me,
honestly,
okay.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Who was talking?
Oh, it was Sam, but Desmond, you go on.
Okay. Now, what I was about to say was, I mean, I get exactly what you're saying, but I really feel in a healthy relationship, there's not one person that doesn't. I mean, neither. Well, both people submit at some point. Like it's like when the relationships that I've been in, there were times that I had to submit to the will of what was smarter. You know what I'm saying? It was a better idea that you had. It was a more, I can see me not driving through that wall and walking around it was a better idea that you presented to me. So instead of me just saying, I know I'm a man, I'm gonna do it. No, I can listen to you. And submission all kind of, it gets cloudy. You know what I'm saying? People start talking about submission and it's like, I got to give up my power, or I got to give up something to be this, or to be in. No, it's about respect.
No.
It's about appreciation of the person, and being able to learn something different, and not just, all right, it's my way or it's no way. I mean, if any party in the relationship has that kind of idea, then yeah, there's going to be a problem then. That's going to manifest itself in those type of situations where one person got to submit and all the time. And this is just how we work. I just give her what she want, or I just give him what he want, and then we okay. No, that's not how it's supposed to work. So eventually both people will have to submit to the other person at some point, because the greater goal is to fly this plane. That's why I always say it's actually two co-pilots, and it's not one pilot. It's two co-pilots. You might see something that I don't see. I might see something that you don't see, but we flying this damn plane. We flying this plane together. And if we don't communicate with each other, and I'm telling you that, yo, we got to go higher, we got to go lower to get past this, and you can't be able to listen to me, or vice versa, then we crash at some point.
So you're saying there's two leaders in the relationship, not one. Because I would say the man is the head, the woman is the neck. Your body, your head, nothing can move without the neck. So we're still there to help, but somebody has to lead us. Right or wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. But what my point is, when I get that, is it's one body though. That one body, we are one. Period. That's just it. It's more so that's from an exterior position. The neck doesn't do any less than what the head. I mean, we all one. If we're one, then everybody outside sees this. And the head and the neck type reference, it just more so looks at, all right, that's what's outside viewing the inside. You know, that's how people see us. If I'm the head of my household, then people see me come out first, and I'm the driving force. But while we was inside, while we was talking about this, my wife and me and her, we conglomerated on whatever we talked about, whatever we had going on, and now I'm the representative that drives this out into the world. That's kind of like what I think about when we go to head to neck situation.
I'd add this to kind of what you were saying without answering the whole question. It helps, like you said, you grew up in that type of environment to where you saw that. So it's easier for you to understand that if like a lot of women don't grow up like that. You know what I mean? They see their mom doing everything. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of, so when you're telling them they need to be submissive to somebody else, well, they ain't never seen that. So they don't know what that look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how does that work now when they're dating? what can be done? Because I deal with women, I do women's empowerment, so that's kind of a part of what I talk about. You know, when you have a relationship, if you don't know how to respect a man, or, you know, not over talk him or feel like you can be, you know, kind of down talking because you saw your mom do all this stuff, what at age can be done to say, hey, what you've been doing is not working, so let's try something different? What can be done for those who just saw their mother?
Well, you gotta change the perception of dating first and foremost. Um, if you take into consideration what Elijah was saying and what Desmond was saying and put them all together, it does depend on, you know, what the young lady was exposed to growing up. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, your situation, I already explained it. You know, situation, broken family, you know, mama's doing everything. That's what she saw. In reality, um, just like, you know, time can't turn back what you learn. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it, to this day, you carrying on that you needed a man that leaves. That's what you saw. That's where you are. It's the same token with a lot of women that, you know, when you say, what can you do about it? It's really just perception. You see what I'm saying? You got to kind of look at it from perspective like, okay, this is what you've been doing for so long. So how do you go about that? Well, the man might need in some capacity, like for instance, I come from a broken family, so let me give you my male spin on it. So I would probably go to a female and say, listen, I can relate, all right? I didn't have a father either, you know, so my mother raised me. But the one thing I can explain to you, let me kind of talk about abandonment, right? So it really just depends on the dialogue. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, you know, a female really can't jive with a guy that was abandoned by their fathers, for instance. You see what I'm saying? And so the first relationship after the father, whatever that man is, she either got pregnant by the guy, she either dated the guy, but her perception was, well, daddy wasn't there, so this guy's not going to be there. So in retrospect, that first relationship that she experienced with that first guy, that's going south. That's not going to work. It's not. It's going to be counterproductive. And so the next relationship is technically already set in stone, right? So a lot of it is she has to see something totally opposite, and that takes time. So in reality, Reagan, you're not going to get that in a dating situation. You see what I'm saying? And so what happens a lot of times is there's not enough time in the dating arena for the woman to get any type of direction from the guy that might have experienced the same thing. You see what I'm saying? And so we have to kind of change the perception of what dating is. Like, what is this dialogue gonna be like? Like, what do you actually want out of this? Are you just looking for a one night stand? We gotta be real clear about that. You know what I'm saying? And then so nobody wastes nobody's time, because that's really what it really comes down to. A lot of dating is a waste of time. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have no parameters.
Okay.
You feel me?
Time and money.
Yeah, there's no parameters. If you don't have a parameter set, what are you doing? You just like if you have a job, right? And if somebody gave you a job assignment and you didn't follow that, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, you're gonna get fired. You don't go by the bylaws or, you know, whatever the job responsibilities are, right? And so, you know, dating is loose. We don't really look at it as responsibility. Like, you know, we got a responsibility toward each other. So let's be grown about this thing. It's like, what you want? You want open relationship? You want committed relationship? What are you talking about? And sometimes you have a lot of people that could be fear. It could be lack of exposure, lack of dating experience. Man, there's so many things, you know what I'm saying, to where a lot of these things aren't even being communicated. You know what I'm saying? So with that question you asked, what do we do about it? I think somehow, some way, we got to change the perception of what dating is.
Anybody else?
I would just say, adding on to that just a little bit, like he was saying, you definitely gotta ask the right questions up front. You know what I mean? Let's try to get that out in the open early on. As far as the submissiveness thing, I see it more as like right now, and especially being single and trying to, you know what I mean, looking to partner with somebody. You're more looking for like a team, like it's a 2-person thing. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna come in and just try to take over your life. You know what I mean? Obviously, you got things going on, but at the same time, we can kind of try to work together. I would like for you to defer to me if we're talking about it. You know what I mean? After we done talked about it and we're trying to come to a decision. I know somebody posted in the group the other day, I think it was a woman, a female, was like arguing in a relationship, or like trying to make a decision. If you're making a decision with somebody, you know what I mean, with your mate, but he want to do this and you want to do this. Like, that's not really an argument. Like, you shouldn't shut that conversation down. You know what I mean? Like, somebody needs to, you got to try to understand that other person's point of view. And then y'all got to try to come together, meet in the middle somewhere, or we're going to make a decision. We can't just be like, all right, I ain't talking no more. And I'm going to do this, and we're going to do this. You know what I mean? So, and like I think that was Chuck. Was that you a second ago that was talking? I believe. But in a dating situation, I mean, you got to be far along. You need to be more in a relationship, not just dating to really kind of figure that out, though. You know what I mean? In the dating world, I don't know. I mean,
that's not a conversation.
Yeah, not really. I mean, unless it's like you're trying to make plans or like things like that. If somebody just combative off top, like, I'm picking you up at 8. Nah, pick me up at 7:30. Like, all right, hold on. You know what I mean? Like, slow down. So I don't. Right. Yeah, and the dating is a little more too early for that, I think.
And communication is key. That's it. If you can communicate with somebody, you'll never lose. If that person can communicate with you, and you'll be right there. I mean, just like we said, just like you was just talking about, the dating stage, of course, that's way too early, but there's still room for communication, establishing some boundaries, establishing some, okay, this is me, this is you. Then going forward, if we can't actually sit down and talk about, like, hey, I want to put the kids in this school. Right. I want to put the kids in this school. Well, what do you think about that school? What do you think about this school? Like, anything that needs to be decided on, if you can't communicate about it, then yeah, that's where submission becomes a problem, because I can't get a word in edgewise. And that kind of goes back to that independent woman thing. Well, hey, look, I bet you if we go over here, it'll be a little bit better. And if I can't make a point, if I don't even have an audience with you in regards to what I'm trying to say or what I'm trying to do, then yeah, we're gonna have a problem. But it all boils down to communication. If you can't communicate with somebody, then you lost. You independent. Your independent self.
I had some questions, but we're going on an hour. I did want to talk a little bit, just real quick, 2 more questions. I had a whole bunch, but just 2 more about communication. So one thing that my opinion is we were taught how to communicate as people. So we were taught how to communicate when it came to, like, just in general conversation or relationships. Because I what I say goes, and as I say, you're not able to have an opinion. So you go through years of that, and then you get into relationships, or finally you talk, but you don't know how to. Who taught you, or how do you learn how to communicate properly in a relationship?
You know, when I first got married, I was like 22, 23 years old. And so I had to learn how to communicate with women like I should. A lot of times it was like, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, or we doing this, or we doing that. You know, but later on, we started to have more discussions about, we talk about stuff more, communicate stuff more, talk about your feelings more and that sort of thing. But when I was younger, it was just this what we're gonna do. It wasn't no, nothing else. But now that I'm older, I try to be a better, communicator, asking more questions, listening to what you're saying instead of just hearing what you're saying. It's a big difference.
Okay. Anybody else? Last question. Has anybody dated outside of their race on here before?
Nope.
Everybody's dated Black women?
Well, I have. I'll be honest with you. I have before once. I was in college a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's been about at least 15, 16 years back.
So that's a long time.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
well, then I can't even really answer the question then.
Well, no, wait. Slow down.
That subject's been arising a lot. When you talk to a lot of guys and things like that, that's been a conversation a lot.
Well, check it out. I've dated a vast variety of women, but I consider them to honestly be all black women. Like I've dated a woman from Belize. I dated a woman from an Indian woman from South Africa. I've dated Spanish women, and Puerto Rican. But I all consider them to be honestly black women because that's just how I am. That's just the way I think. But culturally, yeah, there are significant differences about different women in different scenarios and whatnot, and from different backgrounds. But I don't see. I don't know how much trouble I'm gonna get in. I just have never dated a white woman, and I don't care to.
I'm gonna brace myself. Brace yourself.
I'm just saying. I've never dated, nothing too bad. I'm just saying I've never dated a white woman, and I really don't care to because I can't see anything that we would beyond a physical attraction. I just don't see that there would be anything that you would be able to, understand about me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm definitely at that point. Yeah, or been at that point for quite a while since then. Yeah, we wouldn't be on the same page about a lot of stuff. If that's the question, are you asking about dating white women in particular, or just any other race?
It's a comparison. I'm not so much into that. If I don't have to date you, that's your thing. But I know a lot of black women, not a lot, some black women get upset because they're like, what's wrong with us? Why are we so overlooked? And they go to white woman, why are we overlooked? So I just want to shed some light on that. Because
say hi when I say hi. Speak back sometimes. I said speak back sometimes. I'm not here to just destroy your life. We at a gas station. I'm just saying, hey, Miss Lady, you look nice. Don't look at me like I just shot your puppy or something.
Yeah, I had this conversation with a woman, a black woman, the other day, and it's like, it's a lot dealing with some black women. It's a lot, but I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's definitely a difference. I know a lot of dudes that talk to white women. You know what I mean? A lot of people definitely, they go that route with it because they be like, I'm done with that. You know what I mean? And it's a lot that you deal with.
What are they doing with it? What are they doing with the black women? What did the black women do? What are they doing? Shed some light on it.
One interracial couple, and y'all think all black men don't like y'all no more. It's just like, it's a million dudes. You see one dude, and you say, oh man, they don't like us no more. Come on.
Right.
I know in my city, it's a lot of interracial couples that's going on. Like if you go out, you see a lot of black guys with white girls. So it's like, I don't know. I can't answer why they do what they do, but I just know I'd be like, man, sometimes it'd be a lot. It'd be a lot dealing with the sisters.
Well, and honestly, I feel like it's a lot dealing with women, period. So I can't necessarily put it on the sisters, but it's also I'll give, I guess this is kind of a feather in the sisters' cap. It's a lot of foolishness that they have to deal with. So and we only have, and see, this is what they don't understand. We have a split second to gain an audience with you. We have a split second. I have to say something that's going to stop you in your tracks and allow me to talk to you for however long that I need to talk to you so that we can actually do something. And if you're not having a good day, your baby daddy did such and such, you got your baby threw up on you this morning, you spilled your coffee on the floor, and you ain't got but $4.37 in your account, and you mad because you can't go and get another one. And, you know what I'm saying? Real talk. It be like that. But all of that is jumbled up into how you're looking right now. But I still want to be the black man and be like, hey, Miss Lady, here, let me hold your door open for you. You look extremely nice. If, matter of fact, put 20 on, put 14 on her gas pump. Because, hey, I'm going to take care of that. And then but then she look at me like I just, oh, no, I'm good. And it's all right to turn me down, but damn,
Or
you know,
still call
at
you thirsty.
least.
Look at his thirsty ass buying my gas.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then you jump right on your phone, headed to work. You won't believe what I had this thirsty dude doing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, we
Now,
get a lot of confrontations.
right. So I get what y'all go through. I get that it's an onslaught all the time because for one, black women are the most beautiful creatures on the earth. So y'all got to deal with all of these dudes coming at you. But look, sometimes give somebody the opportunity to impress you.
Y'all hear that? Give them an opportunity
to say to actually talk to somebody, because you might learn something. You might figure out that everybody is not who you think they are.
Are y'all listening?
Are you listening? They probably ain't listening now.
They don't have a choice but to listen. I don't have them on here. They have to listen. They're not on here.
Watch it. Pay attention.
I guess, and to go with that, you know what I mean? Just, I don't know. I might not even say that right now.
Go on, bro. Go ahead. You done already
I ain't got it worded right to say it. It'll come to me in a minute. I'll let somebody else talk.
Let me ask you. I guess Gary, say I guess I could chime in because I guess I probably got the closest experience, but my battery's going low. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, well, I'll try to give it to you as quick as possible before my phone go out. And Reagan, I'll probably post something anyway. I lived in Europe prior to 2015, and so by default, you know, after my ex and my daughter still live in Spain. So 2010 is when I separated. So from 2010 to like 2014, I do have experience with European white women. The one thing that interesting thing, and maybe this could shed some light, but again, it's Europe. I can't really speak for the ones in America. But European women study black women. The conversations I had leading up to the actual relationship were, do black women act like they act on TV on Housewives of Atlanta or Love and Hip Hop, you know? And I was honest. I said, some do, some don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of it's real. They tell me, right, and this is just real conversation, they were upfront. They were upfront with their interests. They have an agenda. They want dark children coming out of them, okay? They'll let you know up front, I'm a freak of the bed, a woman in the streets. And they will tell you that I'm trying to outdo the black woman. These are conversations that I've had with several European women from like Eastern Europe to the UK to Germany. You know, I've been to like 12 countries. And because I was doing music over there, I was pretty popular. You know what I'm saying? And so they really were coming at the sisters, you know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, when you got like, say over there, you got more African women than African American, right? And so you do have a population of African. So the deal was the African women were collecting government stipends, and the more babies they had, the more money they could get, right? So you had a lot of the African brothers that were going after the white European women, and most of them married them, just so you know. And so you have an opposite disparity in Europe, you know what I'm saying, versus the United States, whereas here it's just interracial dating, married. Over there, man, you got a lot of marriages. You got, you know, the white European with the black Africans, and you got the black Africans or black Americans with the white Europeans. So hopefully that at least give you a little something. But I'll post something later.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down unless somebody else has something else to add. Did you get your thoughts together, Brother Clark, or you just want me to bypass you?
A little bit. I was just going to say, like, just dealing with females, like, it's what you, like, sometimes with black women, you know what I mean, they have already in their mind what a black man going to be. Like my man was saying, like, you just got to give a man a chance, you know what I mean? You can't just have, all right, this how a black man going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, or he a thug, or they try to generalize you know what I'm saying? You can be generalized real quick. And that leads to a lot of confrontation, you know what I mean? That leads to a lot of confrontation between.
Right, and then they don't want to be generalized themselves. Like if I approached you and I thought you were something and you're not that, now I'm wrong in that situation. But I came to approach you and you thought I was something and I'm still wrong. So absolutely, you're right, bro.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's a whole nother panel, man.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay, no, for real. Last question, real short. Keep it short, short, short. Sam and I actually had this conversation last week, and I don't even know how to say it. So we were talking about weight, like women's weight, and women taking care of themselves physically, you know, making sure we look up to par. But he was saying that, you know, sometimes no matter how small you get or you know, as a woman, we still are not going to be all the way satisfied with ourselves. But he was also saying that sometimes men have that problem, not that problem, but when it comes to their penis size, that sometimes they don't always feel confident with that when they're dealing with women. Is there any truth to that? There's maybe an insecurity, not maybe speaking for you, but that you've heard from other guys.
First of all, dudes don't talk about
Thank you.
penis size with each other. We not sitting next to each other like, bruh, I don't know what to do. Like, I only got so much, you know? Dudes are not doing that. It's not happening. Dudes don't have that. And I don't know, I forget where all of these brothers are from, but I'm pretty sure they feel the same way. Like, we, in that vicinity, we don't do that. So if you have some type of insecurity, it was a woman that made you feel insecure about whatever you was bringing to the table. It was a woman that did it. So that's my part of it.
Okay. Anybody else want to add to that?
I mean, I can't do nothing but agree with him. In my 40 years, I have never had that conversation with the fellas.
Yeah, that's Reagan. That's why I had the conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, a man not gonna have that conversation. That's not something we gonna even. That's not even a thought.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a fight. I can only do what I can do. I get beat. I get beat. I win. I win.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, well, I thank you guys for your time. I really, really do. Next week, we're going to have the ladies on. So hopefully you guys will tune in to that. I just appreciate your time. And I'm signing out. This is Reagan Adams with All Things Reagan. And this is the panel for Dating is Dead Monday Mancave. Huh?
All right,
brothers.
Y'all be.
All right, Reagan.
Y'all be
Bye. Thank y'all.
All right, have a good weekend.
Stay
All
safe.
right.
Appreciate the invite, Reagan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.